We also know that this conference right now is being held in light of Dayton, Ohio, and El Paso, Texas, and the shootings that happened there. I grieve for those that were affected by those tragedies because I understand the pain they're feeling. I understand the emotional pain they're feeling and the recovery road ahead of them for those that were lucky enough to survive, and the grieving that those families are doing for the people that weren't able to survive. I can't help but feel as if the deaths of Riley Howell and Reed Parlier at UNC Charlotte weren't memorable enough to bring this bill to vote 3 months ago. House Bill 86 has been in circulation since February 14, 2019, yet this press conference is being held 6 months later. Was the shooting at Charlotte not inspiring enough to allow votes then? So I'm going to take you into my life a little bit. Flashback 3 months ago. I'm a college student. I'm a sophomore. I was attending my last class of the semester. 5:30 p.m. It was me and my group were going to be the second group to present that night in an anthropology class. And 10 minutes later, I'm looking over my shoulder and see a guy in a black shirt, dressed in all black, approaching the door. And I knew instantly something wasn't right. The minute he got in the room, there was no announcement. There was no, he opened fire immediately. And before that, a group had a presentation going that was, a video presentation, so all the lights were out. The room was loud with the presentation that was already going on, and, no one's expecting that to happen. And then 10 minutes later, our world went to hell. He was able to fire, I believe, 20 rounds from a handgun in what felt like forever, but in reality, the whole thing probably lasted a minute. He was able to put 6 rounds in the kid directly behind me, ending his life. He was also able to put 8 rounds into Riley Howell, who has been deemed the hero of the UNC Charlotte shooting because he was brave enough to tackle the shooter attempting to stop him. And I 100% am thankful for what he did because he definitely saved lives with that action. But the piece that people forget is that the shooter wasn't made unconscious from that tackle. Yeah, he admitted that it hurt, but he easily could have got back up, and he did get back up. But instead of putting another clip in and continuing to fire at myself or anyone else that managed to get out of the room, he stopped on his own. And when I got carried out of the room by the police officers because they weren't able to get an ambulance on campus because they were worried that there were more shooters, I look back and see 2 kids that aren't coming out of that room because of this violence. But the shooter who did it did come out alive. And that part aggravates me enough. And there's still no action for there's nothing that has been done yet for what he did. There's been no ruling or anything, and it just amazes me that I'm still having to live my daily life affected by this tragedy, but yet there hasn't been any justice for it. And it's taken this long to try to even get a vote on these 2 bills that we have presented in front of us today because for whatever reason, the shooting in our state wasn't enough to bring us to a vote. Even if these bills get voted down, at least the people who are putting these bills forward get an understanding of what parts they're okay with and what parts need to be worked on to work towards bills that will benefit all of us. I don't want pity for what happened to me. I received plenty of that already. And I'm tired of living my life as the victim. This wasn't the life I asked for. I just want action because people clearly don't understand how much this affects someone when it happens, but also for the rest of my life. I'm going to have to live with the scars that I have, and I'm willing to show you the scars that I have to push that point forward that I'm never going to be able to forget this because it's what I have to look at in the mirror every single day. I have a scar down my abdomen. I have a bullet hole right here, and I have a bullet hole an inch from my spine. The fact that I'm even standing here right now is a miracle. That could have hit my spine, and I could be in a wheelchair, or I could be dead. So all I ask, and I personally believe that it's the obligation of everyone, the Republicans and the Democrats, to vote on these bills and discuss these bills, because you got elected to act. You did not get elected to simply not allow things to get voted on. That's not enough. And I don't want to see on the news shooting at NC State, shooting at UNC Chapel Hill, or anywhere else, an elementary school. So all I ask is that you take the time to discuss these bills and you take the time to vote on these because it's your obligation. Thank you.
Drew, are you here? Are you going to be talking to lawmakers today while you're here?
If they're willing to talk, yeah. I mean, I'm here to encourage change. I mean, these people are putting these bills down to prevent a future tragedy such as my own, and they can't get Republicans to talk on the issue, discuss the issue, vote on the issue. So if they want to laugh in my face, someone who went through this, I'd love to see that, because this isn't a joke. This is happening here. It's happening everywhere in this country. And it's not time to be, I am not giving up any rights of my guns because the Second Amendment says I can have one. Because I don't care that the Second Amendment says that you can have a gun. That's a simple fact. I get it. You can have a gun. But there are many things that need to be changed in terms of gun laws, such as the ammo capacity, such as bump stocks. I mean, the list goes on. Little things that don't take guns away as a whole, but that prevent future tragedies like the one in my situation from happening.